I take it much easier. At the time of the explosion, my life had been extremely difficult up to that point. And when the explosion happened, I said, oh, here we go again. It wasn't like, oh God, this is the first time this happened to me. It was like, and I was able to thank God for godly mothers. I had an extremely godly mother who, just unique, very unique person. So, but each one of you have a calling on your life, and you need to tap into that deep, what God's doing in your life. We don't all have to be in the ministry. We don't all have to sell our property and go to China. You know what I'm saying? But there's specific anointings that God has on each one of your lives, and you have to dig deep into that. And, don't be surprised where God's going to put you, And he just takes you by your head and he kind of trots you to wherever he wants you to be. And all of a sudden you're sitting at some conference and someone comes up to you and it's some ambassador from Germany, and you start talking with this person, and then, it's amazing what God will do in your life. And so, that's what the book is about. It's meant to encourage people and to do this. When I spoke at the conference in Kiev, or in the Crimea, there's about 700 people, and a man comes up to me afterwards, he's about 75, and he said, I always wanted to drop the atomic bomb on America. And I thought, well, okay, this will be interesting, this conversation, And he said, I don't feel that way anymore. He said, now we're friends. And it's an amazing thing. Francis always talks about the fall of the Soviet Union, what a miracle that was. And, and in the former Soviet Union, the gospel is really wild. It's going like wildfire. And the people are really, like in India, they're really on fire for God. And how Pastor Sunday was so successful is nobody listened to him. So he went into the prison, he got gangsters, he got ex-prostitutes, he got drug dealers that were in prison. He got them so turned on to God, he put them in the ministry, and they got on fire. And he's like a hands-on ministry, and just incredible, And so one person can make a huge difference. We think, oh, what can I do? We can make a huge difference right where we're at, or other places, And when God opens up a new door, don't be afraid to go in it, because he's prepared things ahead of you, And don't let the fear of the unknown scare you from that, And don't let your age be a deterrent either. God loves to take totally impossible situations that everybody says will never going to work, seriously, and he turns them around. Take an old man who's going bald, and he's 80 years old. He's a shepherd in the Midian, Moses I'm talking about. Thought he's a total failure in life. He wasn't perfect. Ask his wife, she'll tell you he wasn't perfect. And yet God took him, and because he remained humble under God, he lifted him up, and he took him to incredible heights, more than if he would have been the Prince of Egypt. So I guess that's my testimony, and it's more of an encouragement to people that things I've survived, that you can survive the things you're going through, and and just God's got really big plans for your life, and my things with Israel are really opening up. I'm going to be meeting the ambassador of Israel in about 6 weeks, and Pat Boone and some other people at a conference, and Pat Robertson, and I think God says I need to get there, and they're going to connect me with Pat Robertson, because I think I'm going to be on his program, because I need to get this message out, because it's going to be used for airlifting Jews. The group I'm targeting is the Uzbekistan Jews. They're in a Muslim country. They hate them. And they're being treated in Uzbekistan the same way they were in Germany in the 30s. So there's a lot of persecution there. And there's, I think, 40,000 that want to leave. And so that's what I'm in the process of saying. I said, God, this is your book. You push it, you move it, and I think God's going to do that. The international fellowship that I'm with, since in the last 18 years, we've paid for 1 million people from the former Soviet Union to Israel. And the rabbi, he's an advisor to the prime minister. Actually, he did an endorsement for the book, and I have also Israel ambassador, Daniel Aylan, that I met at a briefing, did comments for the book. So I give this to God, and it's his work to do, and I just